Okay, then second session we gonna look at the Rhino today. Rhino 7, and last time we looked. Let me bottom line quickly. So we have Rhino. When you open, you can click on New to open template, and this template is located in your Rhino installation folder. And I usually select large object with mid.
Just a second. I don't see the.
Sorry, the screen.
Yep.
Um, Screen share. This is really good. All right, you see?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
You guys see? Okay, great. So, when you open Rhino, I'll do some quick summary of last time. So we have a file, and this is just a typical menu, and then we have sub menu, which dealing with a different tool. And most of case you use standard, and that listed here. Small, the main toolbox here that you can move it around, and you can also docking to here if you want. And we have here layer and display, property, windows. You can drag and drop to move another window. You can close it. If you close, you can type one of the command and it will come all together, and you can put it up. You can dock there also. You can double click on the viewport to maximize, minimize. There are 4 viewports. When you open file new, Rhino brings you to the installation folder where you can select template. When you select template, that's the project template. It opens and you see the layer structure. We talked about how to create new layer, how to make sub layer, how to delete them, and yeah. And also viewport, you can move zoom in out with your mouse middle button. When you hold the mouse right button, you can orbit it. If you hold shift key and mouse right button at the same time, you can pan it. And we have different like snapping option here, which I'm gonna talk more in detail. So that's what we did yet last time. We did like how to select layer, how to define object to specific layer, and so on. So today we're going to look at a little bit more detail. So when you go to Rhino here, command, usually we keep it like a standard. Yeah. In this standard, I'll go top view for today, and let's go ahead to look at some simple command. Let me talk it here. Sorry. For example, I like to leave it as a two columns here. It's a bit simpler. And whenever you see the icon, which has a small bottom arrow, which means they have additional tools. So all you need to do is just click on this small arrow, then it will pop up, and you can also bring it to undock from the menu. If you like it, you can also put in wherever this ribbon, so you can access anytime when you want. You can customize it. But for now, I just leave it like that. Let's go ahead with a single point. Single point. Um, if you click on single point, you can basically put the point on any point at any canvas here, and when you move your mouse cursor, um, it shows your coordinates, or at the moment world coordinates, x and y and z. You can see here. Sorry, I missed it. Bottom left, you can always see the coordinates. You can also just drop wherever you want, and if you want to repeat the command, you can press spacebar or enter. Then you can repeat the command. And while I'm repeating, the command line always show here. You can type location of point object. You can type coordinates, for example, 0, 0.0.0 xyz. When you type enter or spacebar, it dropped at 0, 0.0.0, the point. And this command also you can bring it down if you like to have like AutoCAD style, you know, like here, up to you. but I usually leave it as a default here, up to you, wherever you want. And I prefer to see a little bit of command history also, so usually I put it here and maximize it. And some of the tool like Visual Arc or RFM, the plugins, these are the additional plugins you may have, or if you install it, or if you don't have it, never mind. Yeah, you can hide it. So this command history you can always see by scrolling up and down. And let's so that point command is very simple. Yeah, you can click on point and you can put 0, then it's 0 0.0.0. I can put, let's go 1 comma 2 comma 0. Then as you can see we went to 1 unit x direction and then 2 unit y direction. That's where we have point. Next command is multiple points. You can just put any points, multiple points on your canvas, and then when you press enter or spacebar, that's finished. That's how you finish the point commands. And these are, of course, in perspective view, as you can see. You can click on that when you turn on Gumball from the bottom menu here. This gizmo is appearing XYZ uh, axis, and you can also rotate them, and you can move it around. For example, I can move it from up and down, some of them down, and then you can see from front view, or like you can see that z-axis changed. Okay, so the second command is basically multiple points. You can draw many points as you wish. Um, the rest, extract points, closest point, these we never really use it, so you don't need to really worry about them. Maybe point grid is useful. You can put uh, starting point and end point of your grid. And then if you want to have a 3D, you can put also jet coordinates as a box, bounding box, and then it populating all these points as a grid. And when you type what is the command where you can see the property of the object. And it says it's a point cloud, and the layer name is belong to layer 1. And this geometry is with 100 points, and it shows not, it doesn't show all the coordinates, but maybe you can ungroup, or it's not grouped object, it's actually point cloud. Let me explode it. Once they explode, they become every single point. So there is a command called explode, or you can find it from here, this icon, this explosion icon. That means explode. Any question, guys? All good?
No, no,
Okay.
all good until now.
Yeah.
Okay. Antonio, are you with me also?
Yeah, yeah. All
That's good.
good.
So the point command is very simple, yeah? Nothing to really worry. And now I'm going to move on to some curve commands. So let's have a look. By the way, my standard toolbox is so far. So the curve, you can also choose, I believe, curve tools here. Then it shows all the curve tools you can use in Rhino. But let me go to standard and let's start with a very simple curve tool here. So there, actually it's line. Line is a little bit different. So line always start with starting point and end point is finished. So first option, I'm just selecting is start end point line, single line. And when you look at down menu here, you can see there's O snap option. O snap means you can set different snapping option below here. And when you turn off O snap, then this option is automatically disabled. Yeah? But now I'm going to enable O snap. Then you can see it's a bold text, and you can see now that you can choose near or end point. You can snap point, middle, or center, and etc. Yeah? There are a lot of options. let me for now select point, and I'm also going to enable grid snap. Grid snap. So grid is the background behind. You can press F7 to turn on and off. Okay. What I'll do now with the line command, single line, we can snap basically point between point to point. So if I finish first and second point, then that you can draw one single line. Now, because we have grid snap, we can snap basically to the between the grid. You see? And I'm going to also type options, the command options. That's the command word. And if you go option, and there you may see, I believe that it should be, let me remember, there must be grid or something. Yeah, here we go, grid. That's the grid we can also adjust here. Right now, as a default, the grid line count, we have 200, but I'll make it 100 to show you. And the grid spacing is between is 1 meter. Okay, and the grid snaps makes, but you can make it maybe 5 meter, and it every 1 meter we can snap. And major line is a little bit indicating different, but every 10 grid is highlighting as a major line. So when I hit OK, you see here clearly see a little bit darker line. This is the major grid, and every individual grid now the space between them is becomes 5 meter, and we have like 100 grids. Let me check. So if I draw line now, and I'm gonna snap variable grid, and if I type 5 meter on my command words here, 5 meter, and I hit enter, or not hit enter, next point when you click, as you can see now the distance between first and end point, that's the 5 meter, because we change the grid unit to 5 meter spacing. Okay, and of course this line, when you select type what, you can see the property of this line geometry, and it shows your coordinates of first point and end point. It shows the domain. Domain is the range of the curve, and you have length 5 meters of the curve property here. When you select line, it shows you between start and end point. Maybe you don't see clearly. In this case, now I'm in the shaded view. If you want to see point a bit bigger, we can also go to display option, and when you go edit display setting here for this shaded view, you can click on object and point. Right now the size shows to 5, and we can also change the point look something different. So square with white, round with white center, solid square, solid circle. What I'll do, I'll make it with a round with a white center, which is default, and I'll make size bigger 10. And let's see. Yeah, you see the point shows really big here. But this selected mode, it doesn't show this end and snap point bigger. Let me go ahead again back to the setting. Wireframe object. Yeah, points. Other setting. Yeah. Looks like as far as I see right now, it doesn't show the option to scale up the size of selected points. I mean the points which is actually vertices of the geometry. Yeah. So control point style. Here we go. We can make it also bigger. So when it's bigger, and I hit OK. No, control point doesn't. It doesn't make any change. Anyway, sorry about that. I thought maybe I can make it bigger also here. But let me go to object and When it's shaded view object control point size, let me try this size bigger. And when I hit OK, yeah, now it's become bigger. Yeah, I found out. So you can also really set each individual view mode, uh, what kind of graphic you want to show. And when I go to wireframe, for example, that setting change, or rendered view, that setting change. But when it's shaded view, you can see this point really change the view settings. I'm going to go top view again, and when I go to shade view, you can see bigger point, and I'm gonna draw line. This time, instead of single line, I'm gonna do the polyline. Polyline is the multiple single line, they are joined. So you can go like point to point, point to snap. Maybe I'll turn up grid snap. So, you know, I can just go to point snap. And when you finish, you can basically space enter or space bar, and it finished this multi-line. The difference between single line and polyline is that you know, when you type what to see the property, this is the curve now. It's not instead of line, it's a curve, and it has much more, you know, point coordinates, of course, because there are 17 points connected with a single lines. And in Rhino, it's called joined line. So here we have every individual single lines. Eh? When you select these two, and here on the command, click on join, that means this is joined. Now, when you type what, this is considered as a curve. So polyline, another way, it's called polyline. And this one is called just, sorry, this is also properties curve, but this is single line and the other one is polyline. Yeah, yeah, here we go. You can see open polyline with 3 points, but here when I click, it's called just line. That's the difference. So when you join, you can join them again with the join command, same as AutoCAD type join to join, or I can join them all together. Then now they are closed. So you can see this polyline is closed polyline with the 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And whereas this one, when I type what, it says open polyline with 17 points. All right, so I'm gonna use one of the AutoCAD command trim, so I can trim this too. Sorry, before trim it, let's explode it. So in AutoCAD you can also explode the line. Then now we have this polyline, 16 exploded single lines, and you can now type trim to trim, select. You can trim them basically. And now, last time I showed you how you can select all the ob object. You can also type just simply cell curve, I think. Cell curve, this is the command down here. If you type cell curve and hit enter, then you can select all the curves, and I can now also join it again. Then that we have joined curve. All right, you have questions so far, guys? Any question?
No, so far
So far, good.
all good.
Super. Good. That's good. Cool. So next one, I mean, there are a lot of commands because the a lot of curve that you use could be very important. But for now, for us, for engineering architectural world, I think that's enough to draw one, two, you know, these two lines. That's more than enough. Next one we can move on is there are some, it's curve, but we have some degree, so we can continue to draw from this snapping point. The first command, if you see, this is called like when I put that's the control point curve. Yeah, curve through the points. If you press mouse right button, then it's control through the point. And first one is called control point curve. Let's compare between. So first one I did with left click, and the next one I'm gonna change the layer color to perhaps blue, and I'll mouse right button, and this time let's go select one more time, mouse right button, did, did. I think I selected it like that and hit enter, then this is the finish. So this curve is actually just going through the point. And the first one is, okay, there was one more control point I can see. Mouse right button, here, 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 here. That's the result. So if you compare now first one, which is control point curve, and as you can see, the control point, we have curve here. This is our curve, right? But that we choose the control point, first control point, second control point, third control point, fourth control point, fifth control point. So there are one, two, three, four, five different control points for the first curve. Yeah? This is the curve we have. And another one with mouse right button, we just use the point, control point. We just draw the lines through the control point. There's a big difference between them. Yeah. And I'll put another command again. So let's go first left one. Click on left control point curve. And there is a degree. So if you put the degree to 1, basically this is same as a polyline. That's the degree 1 curve. And if you do next second degree, I'll change layer to orange. And degree 2, I'm gonna go through exactly same point. And as you can see, this is degree 2 curve. I'm gonna make another one with a degree 3, magenta. Then you can see the curves are smoother. Um, Let me go one more time. If the curve is more than degree 3, it's a little bit difficult to control, but we will try with a degree 5, perhaps green. Degree 5 curve. This is basically degree 5 curve. So Goran, as a structural engineer or infrastructure civil engineering point of view, which curve is most useful for road or bridge access?
Usually for us is the first degree is the the best option. That means that our structure is straight, but we can use also second, third degree.
Yeah, but that's the static point of view. But when you look at
With diagram is for us this I think second degree. Uh,
yeah, rigid. But I heard like a lot of bridge engineers or street engineers, they use degree 5 because
Five.
of clothoid, um, the clothoid curve or arc or
Clotoid. Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the definition is a bit more complex than just degree 3 curve. I don't know. What I know is automotive also use degree 5 because of the car surface, the lighting reflection. The degree 5 gives you better um, result. But yeah, what do you think? So this is between curve 3 and 5. Yeah. Most of case in Rhino, the standard for the nerve modeling, we use degree 3 curve in Rhino. I know for the static point of view as an engineer, when you calculate, of course, just degree 1 beam column. But in Rhino nerve modeling, degree 3 is the most commonly used because it's very give you very smooth, nice surface result. And degree 5 is in this case. By the way, if you
Yeah.
want to turn on the control point, um, Rhino 7 it looks like shows control point automatically, but previously you had to press F10 to show and F11 to hide, the control keys.
Okay.
F10, F11, you can see points on, points off, that's the command. Okay. So yeah, you can certainly choose different degree when you're working on, but I would say when you do with a structural model, which that you calculate as and if you consider that's analytical model, then degree 1, of course. And when you consider very smooth nerve surface modeling, degree 3, automotive, or let's say this is the the street axis, then the degree 5 gives you the better result, but that's what I heard. So I don't know. This is degree 5. It
Yeah,
looks,
this is in infrastructure for road design. They have those clothed
yeah,
for
yeah,
smooth changing of
changing.
direction on the street. And if you take a look at the bridges incorporated in street, it's just one part of
Hmm. Hmm.
street that have sense. That's regular.
Hmm. That's right. So when I go now, a 3D view, let me change this point preview looks a bit too dominant, these points. So from the object, I wanna make them to be smaller. Let's say maybe 3 and hit OK. Nothing changed. What happened? Shaded object point to 3. I don't know, whatever 3. Let's see. Yeah, it's better. Now what I'll do when I select them, of course we can turn on control point, and each control point then you can move it up and down. Yeah, that's how you can start to manipulate a curve geometry with control point. We can do the same for this axis I draw, and we know there is a control point. We can move up and down to make this kind of curve beautiful. I would say this is really beautiful curve, really beautiful curve. I don't know. The architect's point of view, yeah.
This could be funny.
I,
Playing with this with those curves.
maybe for you this is beautiful curve, Goran, as a structural engineer.
Yeah.
Beautiful, just tick, zig, zag, zag, yeah, perfect. What about MEP?
Even those your curves, which are really nice, we can downgrade it.
Yeah.
These 2D curves.
What about Antonio as a MEP engineer perspective? Which curve is the best for you? Beautiful.
Uh,
Doesn't.
don't know. We love straight lines and 90 degrees.
Also, MEP engineers like straight lines and the 90 degree. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
They can accept just 45 degrees
Hmm.
yeah.
or
45 or 90.
90.
Oh
That's
wow,
okay for
that's
them.
very strict.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, maybe that's the flexi duct or something. But now what
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you is there is command called revealed. Let's type revealed. When you type revealed and hit enter, it gives you another. You can see the preview. Yeah, another reconstructing. We can reconstruct your curve, which was previously 5 degree with a I don't know more control point, but we can make it less control point, and we can reduce the degree between 2 to 1, etc. We can make increase more line. So this is like approximate curve, yeah. Like
Ah.
that's also nice. Now,
Uh,
Goran, you
Did,
happy,
did,
yeah?
did I tell you? we we can downgrade this curve to 2D.
Yeah. So you like it now, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing, like has such a flexibility Rhino has that you may wonder at the beginning, this curve, and you can also make it to you can create new object on current layer. Then you know we can make it new. This is like current layer was this layer 14. That's why it's same color. But you see, we can really change from level 1 degree to level 3 degree. Yeah. Um,
I see these options from my point of perspective very useful
mm,
because I can remember that I have some extraordinary
mm,
problems with designing the ramp,
mm,
car ramp, circle car ramp.
mm,
When you have to approximate, usually the statical software cannot made this
mm,
spiral
mm,
surface.
mm,
So you need to approximate it with some lines, and
mhm.
this could be a good option because you can automatically divide it in how many
How many
point
division? Yeah,
control point you want, small segments, and then connect them to one surface inside the calculation software.
exactly. And you can make the surface basically from
Yeah, this is great.
basically. Yeah, that's already amazing. By the way, I'm gonna go move on to surface later, but Rhino is basically you start to sketch from point, and then if you want to go really precise, we start with points, and then you draw line or curves, and after that you can start to think about like a surface geometry, like it's like a point, line, surface theory, basically.
Uh,
You can also directly draw surface, but to beginning point, it's always nice to think about where points are, where curves could be, and then surface and solid. You can move on this level of detail based on geometrical property. All right. So next one, let's have a look. Next one, I'm gonna move on to top view again. When you click on that one, curve interpolate points. So left one, and I'm gonna draw interpolate curves. So one, two, we're going to interpolate point, and of course degree 3, we leave it degree 3, and hit enter. So that's the interpolate curve, which actually going through the given point, but your control points are located in different position. Yeah, this is interpolate curve. The rest we don't need to know, but let's compare then with the nerve curve. First one is nerve curve, and I'm going to put 3, and let's compare with interpolate curve. What's difference? To put, yeah, this is the nerve curve. So our control points are exactly same what the points which point we select before. Remember, we went we draw um, this one, and then we choose that point, third, fourth, fifth point, and then you get the nerve curve like that. But the nerve curve had so the points we select, they are the control point of the nerve curve. But the interpolate curve, if you compare, the point we select is actually the curves. These curves they are going through the um, the selected points, but your control points located in another way, yeah? Somewhere else. So that's the difference. And if you compare the first option with the mouse right button, and if we select these points um, and the degree 3, you get the same result actually. Yeah. So the interpolate curve, because the first icon on the mouse right button, you have to select the points and then it will draw. But the second one is we can go, actually we can select the points while we are drawing the curve. That's the only difference. So you can kind of preview how the curve look like. Okay, so with the rest of curves, I don't care. You can play with it if you like, but for now, we did most important nerve curve and interpolate curve, and we had a look what control points means and what's the degree means on the curves and how we can rebuild it. Yeah, that's the important thing. Any question?
No?
Nope.
No. Then
All
we can
good.
good. Circle. Basically, circle is like like AutoCAD. When you type circle, you can draw circle. There are so many different solutions to draw circle in Rhino. You can also draw within the box and whatever. But yeah, circle. Um, as you can see when you type what, it's a curve. Yeah, and it says the curve type, which is let's read together. Its type is called circle. Mhm. And shows the radius and etc. But when you click on circle, there is also deformable circle, deformable, and you can set the degree. And I'm gonna draw exactly same circle bounding, which is degree 3 curve. With your eyes, when I zoom really in, the deformable circle has not um, consistent radius. So this first one I drew was just circle. So if you give the dimension here, let's say we have a drafting tool under there, we have dimension, yeah? There are many dimension and we can see the radical dimension. And I can click the first one. The first one, it goes everything, it's radius 3. It means radius 3 meters of radius. And let me display a bit more detail. Sorry, property, and there the the detail of this thing. Length unit is meter. Precision is decimal, meter decimal. Let's make it a little bit higher. So that's the radius of circle we draw, which is the black one. And I'm gonna command exact same one. If you want to go command history, you can mouse right button on the commands, and I can do radial dimension. And this time I will choose the blue one. And if you can, if you see, the blue one has always same dimension. Which one I draw? The black one. Let me do it again. Sorry. So delete. Let's start first one, which is normal circle in the command, standard command, circle, and I'm just using right now just circle. Center of the circle is here, and we finish here. And when I use dimension now, radial dimension, you see the radius is same. That's just circle. But if you use now, let's compare with the deformable option, circle, there is deformable, and degree 5 we put it, and I'm gonna select the exactly same endpoint here. But yeah, deformable means, as you can see, there are different radius for every corner. So if I now select with a dimension, you can see it still looks same. Ah, sorry, maybe let's go with a property and make a decimal
Yeah, you
resolution.
need to
Yeah,
make it.
precision is
Yeah.
what's those.
Looks like,
Maybe more precise
yeah,
than 3.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
Yeah,
there
it's
that's
are
better.
better.
Yeah.
difference. Radical dimension. Let's have a look one more time to the green one. Mm, Dimension. Sorry. Let's go to the options, and I want to add a default dimension already, uh, higher precision. You see somewhere dimension?
Uh,
Line type, location of parameter. Sorry, one more. Dimension. This is the dimension type, and we can edit style with Earth architecture. Let's edit style. It's from here, property here. Yeah, you see here style we have, and I
mhm.
want to edit style, and make this. Okay, on the annotation with architect, that's the annotation style, and I want to make this dimension the decimal vector resolution to the highest one. Then next time when I put the dimension now, uh, radial dimension, let's see now. You see
I only
this?
have default
Mm,
annotation style.
mm. Then you can change the default annotation style to different resolution. And as you can see, this deformable one, they never have same uh, radius. Yeah? But when you go to the circle, this black one, it will always keep the same. You see? Same radius. So just be careful. Rhino has a really higher precision for every geometry. So even though it looks like circle, but it's not exactly same. There are different type. Okay. The curves. So when it comes to the curve command, the precision is the most important thing. So just keep in mind that the rest of curve, like when you look at the box or ellipse and all this, you can just play around, nothing complex. Arc, you can just draw arc and stuff. The most important theory is that the precision of the curve, it can be really precise in Rhino, because like this kind of things, a lot of beams of the, for example, rabbit cannot distinguish the difference. Yeah, but the Rhino can go really high precision. The reason why, because Rhino also being used for many cases for the fabrication for the machine, like a milling machine or laser cut. So I think we'll finish off today. We did a lot of stuff, but mainly looking at the 2D commands. And next time when we go, we're going to look at surface tool, and then we'll look at solid tool. Then basically you can already construct kind of Rhino project file, basically. Especially if structural engineer would be even much easier to run something. And MEP, I'm looking forward, Antonio, if in the future, what you're gonna do with Rhino, you know, very curious.
Yeah, I need to. I will test it out, see how I can apply it to MEP.
Hmm. All right. Any question?
No, mate.
No,
Thank you for this
yeah,
presentation. It was
yeah,
very nice
thanks.
Okay,
and
then
useful.
yeah, that's great.